Hi there, welcome to the Ecofina Financial Channel. My name is Philip, and as usual, I'll take you through one major event in the global economy. Remember to click the subscribe button and set up the notification so that you can receive regular updates from this channel. Today, I'll be looking at Nigeria's foreign capital inflow, and we'll be trying to trace who those who are close to Nigeria are. I mean, those who have a strong belief in the Nigerian market, and those who, in fact, sometimes look like the best of friends in Nigeria, but when you look at the foreign capital inflow from them, it's nothing to write home about. So we've titled this actually Foreign Capital Inflow, Behold Nigeria's Friends and Foes. So let's get straight into it. There can be no denying the fact that Nigeria has the biggest economy in Africa, with a gross domestic product of more than $430 billion as at the end of 2020. But the challenges, the economic challenges still remains despite how big Nigeria's economy is. There are a lot of reasons for this. Sometimes you can trace it to the lack of diversification of the economy, poor economic policies, mismanagement of resources. You can even say it's probably some of it can be linked to the security issues. Although today, we'll be looking at something a bit different. We'll be looking at how Nigeria actually gets its foreign capital inflows, which includes the foreign direct investment, the portfolio investments. Where does Nigeria get it from? And how much really is the value of what this that Nigeria gets, and why is Nigeria still going through some FX challenges despite all that has been going on. So we looked at the Nigerian Capital Importation Report released by the National Bureau of Statistics for the third quarter of 2021. And one thing we see is that for the third quarter, Nigeria had capital inflow of $1.7 billion. That is actually almost double the amount received in the second quarter, when it was just $875.62 million. However, the greatest share of this inflow came into portfolio investments, which accounted for 70.30%. Foreign direct investment, on the other hand, was just 6.23%. And immediately, when you see the breakdown of that figure, you already see where some of the challenges are. A lot of investors seem to be interested in the money market instruments in Nigeria, short-term instruments. And when you talk about economic growth or something that has to be sustained to bring development, you need investments that last for a longer period. Now, even the money market instrument as a component of the portfolio investment was more than 65%, while bonds and equities make up the rest. So it already creates these challenges, when you see the number of investments or the value of investment in portfolio, it already creates these challenges, because that means that inflows are not in for the long term, and which has its own challenges. You would rather prefer that there's more of foreign direct investments in the country. But that's just a side of it. But when we look at the chart, which shows where Nigeria received the highest capital inflows from, then it becomes clearer, who Nigeria's friends really are. The United Kingdom was by far really, and in the third quarter of 2021, the one with the highest value of inflows, capital inflows into Nigeria, which is very impressive, really, because the total value of their investments, foreign capital inflow, was $709.78 million. Now, South Africa, surprisingly, was second in that quarter, with $389.54 million brought into Nigeria, which gives them ahead of even countries like the United States, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. I'm sure that many Nigerians might be surprised that South Africa is on the list. And that is despite the fact that South Africa already has some big companies in Nigeria, including MTN, including MultiChoice, Stanbic, which is Standard Bank, South Africa. But because of the xenophobic attacks that some Nigerians have experienced in South Africa in recent years, some might doubt if South Africa still has faith in Nigeria. But when we look at the value of their investment in the Nigerian market, it's clear they have a strong faith. And in truth, they must be considered Nigeria's friends from an investment perspective, because they are really bringing in the funds. And that's what is needed for Nigeria to solve its FX crisis. And that's what is needed for Nigeria to, start to perform better, really, on a global scale. But let's now look at the other side, which is that which countries really do we think should be bringing in more funds into the country, but who are not? I think China has to rank as the first country in that cadre, because when you look at Nigeria's imports, 30% of the total import into Nigeria in the second quarter of 2021 was from China, 30%. But they are nowhere to be found when it comes to foreign capital inflows in the third quarter of 2021, nowhere near it. And when you look at Nigeria's export partners as well, China doesn't rank as one of the top destinations for Nigeria's exports. And that's in contrast to a country like India. Nigeria also has a strong import partnership with India, but there's also a strong export partnership. So if you look at it and say that, even though Nigeria doesn't get so much in terms of capital inflow from India, but you can say that already, because they are also a major export partner, you can say, the relationship is mutual. But the same cannot be said of China. They are the topmost in terms of the import partners, but they are nowhere to be found on the export. They are nowhere to be found when it comes to foreign capital importation into the country, which is something that you think that Nigeria might have to review, because it cannot just be one-sided, a country dominating the import, and then there isn't really much of a relationship from an export perspective back to the other end. China has got a massive population, and Nigeria must be able to also tap into that population. We cannot just afford to be receiving and not getting anything back in return. So I believe, there are other challenges, reasons why investors are skeptical about the Nigerian market. I'm sure we've talked about many of them before, and that includes the managed FX rate system, which the CBN adopts. Many of the investors would rather prefer that the FX rate was market determined, because then it means that the chances that they will be able to repatriate their funds, their export their proceeds, their dividends, their profits, becomes higher when the markets are allowed to flow and there's more inflow into the economy and there's more FX. Right now, Nigeria is struggling because the FX rate is being managed. I know, yes, the CBN is already responding. There has been a subtle devaluation this year, and probably there would even be more, but so far, and that's where we are. So yes, what Nigeria must do is that they have to ensure that there's a balance in this skewed relationship with countries like China, where they've totally dominated imports, but there is almost nothing to show for it when it comes to foreign capital importation and when it comes to even being export partners to Nigeria. So a lot of work really needs to be done. But for countries like United Kingdom, like South Africa, we must say kudos to them, because they really are the heavyweights when it comes to the foreign capital inflows into Nigeria. So let's know your thoughts. Are you surprised at the countries which are actually leading the foreign capital importation into Nigeria? Do you think there's something Nigeria can do better? Let us know what your thoughts are, and we'll be back with you next time. Remember, click the subscribe button, set up the notification so that you can receive regular updates from this channel, and we'll be back with you next time.